Hey guys, this is Camfrey15. I'm back at it with another My Hero Academia chapter review for you guys. And let's keep it PG. Holy crap. What did I just watch? Or, not watch, but what did I just read? All I can say is My Hero Academia is definitely heating up and, the heroes are definitely in trouble now. Um, He is revived and he is back in business. Shigarashi is back, and let's talk about it in My Hero Academia. I believe it's chapter 272. I'm looking at this off of my phone because, yeah, I'm reading. Yes. My Hero Academia chapter 272, titled Funny Coincidence, Good Morning. So this essentially chapter talks about the awakening of Shigarashi. So we start off the chapter with Endeavor's sidekick, and which is Burnin, and essentially she tells the others to make sure everyone's out of the area because she has a feeling that the city might be turned into a war zone between the heroes and the villains, which it possibly could, especially with what we're seeing by the time the end of this chapter we get. Bakugo, he kind of does, the same thing he did way back in, I guess, season 3, well, in terms of the anime, but way back in the hero licensing exam arc, where he was just shouting at those people in the test. He's kind of doing the same thing. And he's like, yo, get the hell out of here. You shouldn't be here and stuff like that. And, the little old people are like, oh, thank you. You're so caring despite, stuff like that. Ida, he says to these people, like, listen, I'll make sure I'll get your manuscripts because this one civilian asked, like, can you make sure my manuscripts are okay? So yeah, and then Ida does say, like, listen, we probably should look around to see if there's any stragglers around and stuff like that to make sure they don't get left behind. Koda, he also gets confirmation from his animal buddies saying that the Fifth Street the Fifth ward has been completely evacuated. We see another hero and we see Nejire, flying, saying that their group was finished too. So then it cuts to our good old pal, our good old MC Deku, and essentially, in the back, as everyone's saying, hope make sure everybody's okay. In the background, he's hearing, he's coming. You need to stop him. And we come to and Todoroki, he comes to me, he's like, Midoriya, are you okay? And Bakugo's like, oh, this guy is slacking off again. Come on. Freaking Bakugo, I love that guy. And now, like I said, this voice again says, stop him. And we see that Deku are the spirit of One for All is talking to Deku again. And Deku mentions, like, that's his voice, the first, user to possess One for All. And Deku even makes a point, like, yeah, we haven't had contact since the freaking dream sequence, since, the end credits scene at the end of season 4. So the first user starts telling Deku, the blowback will be here soon. You don't have long to wait. Ochako's like, Deku, are you okay? And then One for All uses like, freed from the shackles of his humanity, now the power swells and transcended one. And he's referring to Shigarashi, who essentially went full god mode in this episode. I mean, not this episode. I'm acting like I'm watching an episode of My Hero Academia anime. This chapter, he goes full god mode, essentially in this chapter, with what he's doing. And yeah, so things are getting bad, and it seems like we're gonna get possibly Deku versus Shigarashi very, very soon. And when I mean very soon, I mean we could be getting this in the next 5 to possibly 10 chapters. It is still, that's even 10 chapters from afar can be like pretty long away, but that's still pretty close because especially if My Hero Academia, the manga isn't running on a, if it keeps running on a week to week basis, trust me, 10 weeks will be here faster than you know it. So then we cut back to what's going on in the hospital or the little underground thing, and the Deadshot looking character is like standing right near Shigarashi. The next thing he says, Shigarashi says he's cold, and then Dr. Ujiko and President Mike, they look, and then next thing you know, they look, all of a sudden you see this wave of decay. So first thing is, I bet we can confirm that the Deadshot looking hero, I forgot his name, but the Deadshot looking hero, he's just dead. And I predicted he'd be the first one to fall anyways, because he's right there. So you see this wall. President Mike looks like scared out of his mind. Ujiko's like, ah, yes. All of a sudden, Gran Torino comes and picks them both up, and essentially Gran Torino says that Shigarashi's the Kirk. It's spreading to things he hasn't touched. So obviously, this is the upgraded, thing of his power he's doing. Gran Torino tells everyone, all the remaining heroes in the area, like, yo, get out of here now, unless you want to freaking die. Don't even think about touching the cracks either, because if you do, you will die. And essentially, you can say this was essentially a little bit of a fact of, this essentially was like what we saw in Avengers Infinity War. Just the difference is, it's without the snapping of Thanos' finger. It's just, this time Shigarashi's doing it at will. He don't need the Infinity Stones. This is literally, honestly, a redo of, Avengers Infinity War at the end. Deku mentioned the hospital, and then all of a sudden it cuts to the hospital, and then you just see this huge panel of decay and stuff like that, where it's just a huge wave charging at all these heroes. Now, Dragon Hero Ryuko tells Aizawa to get on to her to fly away, but Aizawa uses one of his little bands, but this Nomu who's, being affected by the decay and who's slowly, I guess, dusting away, he grabs Aizawa's leg, and that's bad because if that dude holds onto Aizawa any longer, then he's dead. Next thing you know, you see this little shield thing come out the way. Next thing you realized, the shield hero Crust gives up his life to save Aizawa's. And Crust is giving a thumbs up with a smile face as he dusts away, or he decays away. And yeah, and that is it of Crust. So this, for one, this is the first confirmation of the first big-time hero who has died so far. So Crust is the first big-time hero, and I believe he was the number 6 hero. So somebody's going to have to move up the rank, or take his spot eventually. So, Crust is confirmed dead, which is insane. And I said, well, get prepared because there's about to be some possibly fan favorite or some big time characters possibly going to lose their fight. Crust is the first one to fall. Now we do see other little smaller heroes. They end up getting caught in the decay and they end up dying themselves too. It's like, just no-name heroes. It cuts to Endeavor. He's flying out with Mirako in his arms to get away from the decay. As well as they cut to Ryuko trying to escape. Then Ujiko starts talking again, saying, you had us beat. Like, he's saying, like, listen, you prepared for this day for the longest time, and the fact that you guys still failed makes it even more funny to us. And you get these crazy panel shots of the hospital just decaying crazy and crazy. They show Shield Hero, not Shield Hero, they show the Wash Hero, the washing machine hero. I don't know if he escaped. Right now, he's unconfirmed to see if he's going to be dead. But these two, in the panel next to that, we do see 2 heroes, like, essentially get dusted. It cuts to the Wild Pussycats, Pixie Bob, Even if you don't remember who she is, she's the one that I guess wants a mate at the end of the day after she's done being a hero, I guess. She essentially does her quirk where, she, manipulates the ground thing. She's unconfirmed if, like, even looking back in this panel, it's unconfirmed if, she's dead. And if she's dead, oh my goodness. That's like two Wild Wild Pussycat members that one of them died, but another one somewhat just don't have their quirk no more. And then, it's just going crazy. The Doctor still continues like, all your work, your progress was building towards today, like I said, mentioned earlier. He was like, you heroes, you prepared for this, and you guys are gonna still fail at the end of the day. He continues by saying, but now we witness a miracle, or something even greater. Plus Ultra Shigaraki has awakened. Which essentially you can say is like, I guess his version of a Super Saiyan, more than likely, but he's just, and it comes to Shigaraki, just his hands down destroying everything. My god. And then Ujiko ends up saying, all that you heroes have built, he will undo upon awakening. And it cuts this with one shot where you just see this wave, and I mean this wave of decaying just taking over the landscape of this city and its area. And then Ujiko, in a crazy manner, says, this victory is ours. Then it cuts back to Deku, and Deku goes up to 45%, or 45, one for all percent, or how might I say this to make it better? He goes up to 45%, one for all, and he does a St. Louis Smash Air Force to block some of the decay, which I doubt it will work. And then Bakugo, he yells out saying, "Get the people move, get the people out of here, get the people moving." And Deku says, "Everyone run." But an interesting tidbit is Burnin tries to get in contact with Endeavor, and she's like, "Endeavor, Endeavor, hey, Endeavor." And then that's when the chapter ends off. And the next chapter won't come out till next week, May 31st, the last day on May. As for Endeavor, we don't know if he's confirmed to be dead or if he got caught in the crossfire. I figure he's still going to be alive because he's too much of a more important character to die yet. I'm not ruling out anything. He could die, he could not die. We'll just have to find out. I still think he's alive. I don't think he's dead. Nor do I don't believe in my hardest of hearts he will die in this war arc. But things are getting crazy, and I think the only way some heroes are gonna have to possibly take down Shigaraki, with Deku probably being the best odds at doing it because of One for All, obviously. But it seems like in order to combat him, you're gonna have to have some kind of floating power or some kind of quirk that can make you float. Obviously, you have Ochako who can do that, but I don't think she can get into hand-to-hand combat with this guy because he'll erase her too. Bakugo can obviously float. Who knows if Todoroki can do it? He can possibly use his ice like Iceman, but at the same time, that ice could decay. So who knows? Endeavor obviously can float. Obviously, we know Deku, the next quirk he's obviously trying to obtain is Nana Shimura's quirk, which that needs to probably awaken right now, but I think that will awaken in a time of need, whether it's next chapter or maybe in the next couple of in the next couple of chapters. I feel like Nana Shimura's quirk will awaken for Deku because because it's gonna be one of those things where One for All is gonna be talking to Deku again, and obviously he's probably going to get a vision with Nana Shimura, and she's probably going to be like, you must defeat my grandson, Shigaraki, or something like that. And I guess another thing before I end off the chapter, which I found pretty interesting when I was reading this for the first time, it seems like Deku can now go up to 45% One for All. So I'm guessing he's gotten stronger over the period of time. So there was a few months time skip, so it only makes sense that maybe he could go up to at least much higher than 20%. Who knows if he's able to use 45% and move around just normally without breaking any bones or anything. Or maybe it's like, a one-shot pony trick where he's only able to use it like maybe 1 or 2 times, otherwise he'll break his bones. Who knows? I found that to be pretty interesting because now he's only 5% away from 50%, which is halfway from 100% one for all. They don't explain it. Now maybe they'll explain it, or maybe we'll get some like headlines from maybe Horikoshi saying, "Well, Deku can only use this maybe 1 or 2 times," but who knows? I don't know if he's fully mastered one for all up to 45% up to this point. But if he can use 45%, it means he must have got a better handling of 20%. So we're just gonna have to find out and stuff. We're gonna have to find out like things. Also, Deku can possibly, well, he still hasn't fully mastered the Black Whip quirk. The Black Whip quirk, but another way to avoid Shigarachi's decay is possibly using the Black Whip quirk sometimes to maybe use like to be like Spider-Man and swing on buildings, but then again with the decay quirk Shigarashi has, there would probably be nothing in sight. So who knows when Deku's gonna get Nana Shimura's quirk? I know it's probably gonna activate in a time of need, which that's what happened with Black Whip. Especially in the Class 1A versus Class 1B. It activated purely on instinct when Deku was in need of help and stuff like that, and it just activated. So I feel like it looks like Deku's going to probably, maybe they'll show a scene where Deku looks like he's about to get erased from the decay wave Shigarachi's firing. And the next thing you know, the quirk power activates. Nana's quirk within Deku activates. It's going to be interesting to see how, I think, how Nana's quirk will activate. So yeah, things are going to get from bad to worse. And I think this is, like I said, this ain't gonna be the resulting end of casualties. Like we said, we've only seen Crust and a few other heroes, 2 other heroes die, and with the speculation of like 2 others in this chapter possibly not being alive as well. So if you think that's it for casualties, there's probably gonna be more casualties in this because, man, and right now at this point they are building up Shigarachi to be an unbeatable force. I do not know how they are going to beat Shigarachi with this upgrade of power and the fact that he has the powers of All for One. I really don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see where next chapter goes, and I'm really hyped to see what next chapter is. So yeah, other than that, this chapter was really freaking good. Like every other past manga chapters review for this war arc has been great. This manga chapter takes it up to a whole nother level, and I think we're now getting into the part where the villains are taking over control of this war. Who knows what's gonna happen next? At this point, I can't even predict what's gonna happen next. Maybe you. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Listen, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next video. So if you like this video, leave a like. Put in the comment section what you thought about this chapter, and where do you think My Hero Academia is going in terms of the next chapter. And also hit that subscribe button to get more manga chapter reviews for My Hero Academia. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.